Welcome to Oz After Dark. I am your host, Chasing Oz, and this is my best bitch, Tina.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to our official, we're going to actually recap Africa and talk about the cool things that we did and the neat experiences and the people, the culture, the spiritual nature of it all. But before I get started, I'm not sure when this episode is actually going to air and hit you, but if you haven't voted, fuck you, go vote. And that's my PSA right
Well,
now.
even if it's after the voting, window, fuck you, vote anyway. Like, honestly,
Exactly. If you didn't vote,
then go
even
fuck
more fuck
yourself.
you.
If you didn't vote, then go fuck yourself. Don't ever complain about shit.
If you didn't vote, why the fuck are you listening to me?
Yeah, dude, that's factual.
Mic drop.
You picked the wrong person.
Yeah, right. You're listening to the wrong broadcast if you did not vote.
Yeah.
And if you did vote, thank you. And I hope Kamala Harris is our next president. That is all.
That would be awesome.
So, Africa. Africa was
Crazy.
probably the coolest shit I've ever done. I think that each and every trip that we go on, we're kind of one-upping the last experience that we had. Italy was cool. Costa Rica, we fucking killed it.
Awesome.
And then, it just, I don't know, it was a magical time.
It's funny because even before we left, we kept talking about all the things you have to do to get ready, right? All the extra shots, getting your malaria pills together, which that's its own separate topic. But
Right.
we did so much to get there. Obviously, it's a rough flight, but I had a feeling that it was going to be one of those experiences where there's zero chance you can really explain it to anybody.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
I fucking tried. I have sat with people. I'm like, oh my God, this or that. So I really hope that
There's just so many different experiences. Like it's just hard, like to, I don't know, put it into words, but I guess we're gonna really fucking give it a good college try,
we'll do
huh?
our best because, I mean, obviously I was very blessed that I got to go with you, but I know it's kind of a trip that's not easy for everybody to get to. So
No,
hopefully
not at all.
it gives you guys like a real understanding of what we did and also all the freaking amazing people we met along the way because that will
Um,
forever last with me.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I made a TikTok this morning about Victor and Taro
Oh,
because they were our guides. So from here on out, when you hear Victor and Taro, I'll let everybody know who they are. So Victor was our local guide and he was like the logistics person. He was like in charge. He was our safety guy, make sure, everybody's safe and accounted for and whatnot. And then Taro was our driver.
most of the time accounted
Yep,
for.
most of the time. Unfortunately, there
Oopsies.
was an incident in which somebody accidentally got left behind on the first full day of activities because a third party guide we had for an activity did not count. God bless Marlene. She was
We're
shopping.
so sorry, man.
Everybody was The Walking Dead because that was like literally,
First
it was
full
our
day.
first day of activities. The morning consisted of a 2-mile hike out to a gorge. And then they were like, well, usually we take this path down the gorge to the other side. And we were like, check, please.
Yeah, no, thank you.
This
He's like,
is
he's like,
not hiking down.
he's like, you don't understand what it'll look like down there. I go, what
Oh,
about you?
no, it's
Take
cool.
some
You don't
pictures.
understand. We won't get back up. We won't make it back up. Mm.
He's like, there's 2 miles left. No.
Is there a car that can pick
No.
us up?
No. And once people have to start pissing in, like by the trees, it's time to go. You know what I mean? When some of our friends needed to go and there was just a bush. So it's time. That's really when it's time to go. Just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
hamsters. People start peeing in the canal. It's time to go back
Time to
to
go.
it's just fucking standard, dude.
I just love that that's become like a standard for us of
Should be
time
a
to go.
standard anywhere, right? Like people start pissing on themselves, people start going to the bathroom on the streets. You got to go from
Pee your
wherever you
pants, that's it, you gotta go. It's
fucking
time to
go.
go. The night's over. That was like when we got back that Friday night, after I finally was able to relax and eat and whatnot, my body was like, "Oh, you're relaxing. Well, about that. Fuck you." And I got so sick that I was like hugging Tina's fiance Nicole's toilet. Shout out to Nicole's toilet for being the cleanest thing on planet Earth, to the point where I pissed my pants throwing up. It was just like 0 stars. Do
And
not.
the saddest part of it is you're texting me, hey, Tina, can you come in here? And here I am, making out with her, not even realizing something's wrong.
It's
And
okay. I knew when you looked at your phone again eventually.
I did
I
notice
didn't
it
it
again.
wasn't emergent.
I was like, fuck.
I was, like, dead in the bathroom. You were like, "You poor thing."
But you
At least
see,
at least I had you
at
there.
least it was a clean bathroom to hug. Let's all thank God that
I
didn't
could have
happen.
been in an airport somewhere,
So
or that
forgive me, I
fucking
keep looking.
piss-covered bathroom on the plane.
He wants to hump this. I would like to share. So this is King, and that's his big.
Oh god. Look at him. He's like,
I
"Get
my
it on."
Why is this my life?
Oh my god.
I have tried everything to get him to stop, but today's not that day for
Just be
him.
like,
So
"Listen, just tilt the camera.
you know
Pretend
what?
like
I'm
it's
just
not
gonna do
happening."
this. Yeah. And if you see the bed is shaking, it ain't me. That's all I'm gonna say.
Interruptions.
I'm good. Sorry about that.
So yeah, no, we did this hike and it was great. But we did omit the down the canyon and back up
And we
portion
got
of
full
things.
sticks. Remember the sticks?
Yeah,
Where we
we all had
all
walking sticks as if that was supposed to be helpful. I mean, I'm sure that I probably would have gone down without the walking sticks, so I'm sure that they were helpful. And then
And the
from there,
cutest thing is you initially got a real tall one, right? So we're all handing them out. And, Danielle's a tiny little thing. So we're all handing out. She's got a fucking stick that's double her height. It's literally a flag post now. And then our poor guy Victor goes to get one and it's like tiny size. And we're like, maybe you two switch. Like, just do that.
they
Yeah.
took my stick.
We took your stick. It was too big for you.
Victor took my stick.
Just too
Um,
much.
So yeah, from there we went to the camp of the village of a traditional healer,
Fucking cool.
um, which in what we have known in our, terminology would be a witch doctor, but in their culture that's extremely offensive. So that is, the only time we will talk about it in those terms to make you understand. Um, but that whole thing was wild. Like,
Felt so honored to have even been allowed to go into their area. So we took our big normal bus. Then we had to get into like a smaller, and I think it was
they were
two
like little two
jeeps,
little
right?
jeeps.
Yeah. The minute you got there, you felt the energy, like this amazing, like positive aura energy coming.
Mhm,
And it was like I guess you would call it a bit of a compound in a weird way, where all around them, they had like 4 or 5 huts that had
mhm.
different purposes. I literally was honored to have been allowed in there because people travel from what? Different parts of the country,
Yeah,
right? Like,
well, even from other countries, when we were there was people that showed up from Botswana and their car had gotten stuck, so they had to go pull them out of the sand. But yeah, and we were in Zimbabwe. We were right outside of Victoria Falls at that point in time. So people travel, it's word of mouth really. Like if somebody goes to a traditional healer like the one that we visited and they are cured, they will tell the people around them the experience that they had with that specific natural healer. So that's kind of how it goes. And there's no like payment. Like, you go and he treats everybody. And if you are cured of your ailment, then you can pay him
You can
you
do.
can,
Yeah.
whatever you feel as though his services were. Their whole system of how they do things and their society as a whole is so much different from what we are used to in the US. Um, their whole society is based off of trust
Yeah.
and just being a good human and a part of your good, productive part of your community.
And it's shown in so many different ways. We saw it from just random people we met along the way
Mhm.
to our guides to every human being we met had that same philosophy. Everything was about like nobody's left behind.
Yeah.
Everybody, like it is, if you're told a certain thing, then they trust that you're going to do that. There's
Mhm.
such a level of respect too.
Mhm.
When we went into the natural healers area, because we went into his, um,
Where
his
he does
area,
his healing.
yeah,
Yeah.
which was, I mean, I literally felt like I can't believe I'm allowed in here. He allows you in. He has no shoes on. I just want to give people like a picture. Like he's in his hut, and I'll call it a hut unless somebody corrects me on that. But it's literally made out of concrete and clay to keep them cool during their hot summer months. And you walk in, and there's like a blanket on the ground, and you're told to sit on the blanket or just hang out in that area. All behind him, what would you say, Danielle? Hundreds, right? Of
Hundreds of
jars. And
little, yeah.
oh my God, like even the names of the things on the jar were
I
things
mean,
from like,
there were, like, old formula cans
yeah, it
from, like,
was
the '90s,
it
like,
was
it yeah,
crazy. And each of those jars had a purpose.
it all had something different.
And he knew what every single thing was, how to mix them all together. And for him to sit there and really explain to us what he does for others, and truly what captivated me is how he was called as a healer. So I don't know if you want to share that because I think that was a huge link between you and him.
Yeah, we had
It
that was
was
my
about me,
question. Yeah. When we were so they brought us into the healer's, his hut, his area for his little thing where he talked to us and, kind of did his little presentation, but then he, like, asked us if we had any questions, and my question was, "How do you become a traditional healer?" And he explained that it's not something that you pick. It's not something that, you can train for or you decide to take up as a trade. The ancestors pick you. So basically, in what we would think, in our terms, is people who do have the abilities and powers to communicate with those who have passed. He does it in a medicinal way, which for me was a very familiar thing because I can do the same in my dreams as well, like he was explaining. And he said, basically the ancestors talk to him. And if there's a person that comes to him, for treatment, he will consult with them and then he'll talk to the ancestors and see what they say is the remedy. He won't pull anything
Yeah.
he waits for the messages to help people.
You know what was really cool too is that he very much believes in traditional medicine too.
Mhm. Oh,
So
yeah.
times he said that if he gets those feelings from the ancestors that have passed, and he gets those visions, and the vision is for that person to go to the hospital
Or
or to,
yeah, like, real medical
he
care.
will literally demand that they go get taken care of. So just to give people an idea, like It's not a one size fits all type
Yeah,
thing.
no, and usually a lot of it is what you would think of, like, problems with your soul as
Yeah.
opposed to medical, or, you know, if there's something underlying medically that is impacting you in other ways.
Like he was saying about women that can't have children,
Mhm.
or just certain things that you don't know if there's a level of stress involved. I mean, obviously there could be physical issues as well, but he very much wants to make sure the spiritual, the emotional, all of your soul is at the best place possible. And that's
Yeah.
really how I felt in there. And you would do a better job at explaining the sticks that he has.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, so
so cool,
they
man.
were it was, he called it throwing bones, and
Throwing bones, that's what it was.
yeah, because
Throwing bones.
traditionally, they used to use bones of different animals, like the pangolin, which
Yeah,
is a super endangered animal where if you kill them now because they're so endangered, you know, it's 7 years in jail. So, things that they would use in the past, they have kind of traded out for, you know, sticks or things like that. Um, I also shared a video on TikTok of him, doing it. So if you go to my page and you click on, like, the travel, little tab, I think it's on there, but
yeah. You
it's
did a great job showing that because
I'll link it for this episode too.
it was crazy. And there's little carvings on
Mhm.
each of the bones or the
Yeah,
sticks.
they all have, like, they're all specific for
Yeah.
one thing, and they tell him a story.
Can I tell you the thing that freaked me out though was he said that if he throws them, which he throws them like we would throw dice, right? If you
Yeah.
visualize it, that's how he throws it. There's writings on one side of the sticks and nothing on the other. And he said if he throws them and it's all blanks that come up, it's not good.
No bueno. Count your
Look,
days.
I gotta go.
Like, I'm
Don't
out
do
of
it.
here. Don't throw my bones.
Don't throw my bones. I
So, you
literally
know,
was like, oh my God, they're calling us for lunch. I'm gonna go
I'm gonna
stand
head
up
out.
right here.
It was like the Homer Simpson into the bushes.
Dude, I was like, holy fuck. But that's how powerful it is. And he's
And you
so,
can feel it. Like,
dude, feel it. Like
you can
I sat
feel the
down.
energy.
And listen, for those people that don't realize how fucking old I am, it's hard for me to sit cross-legged on the ground for a long period of time. Shit starts hurting. I was not moving. I was like, nope,
You know, it
not
was like a
you
kid
guys
in
go.
class.
If this is where I die, this is where I die.
We also got to meet the second wife
Yes.
of the traditional healer. They are the ones in society that most often have more than
More,
one wife.
yeah.
Um, not that it's necessarily legal per se there, but nobody bothers the
Who's
traditional
telling
healer.
on the natural healer?
No,
Who's the one that's going to go rat that guy out? You're screwed.
right?
Don't
That's some bad
leave,
karma.
leave him alone.
Leave him alone. Let him do you
Yeah.
do you, boo boo.
No,
Let him
thank
do
you.
him.
Hence why I know
I
where the
could not
story.
take Lisa.
Yeah, she's gonna, guys, she's gonna tell you about this sweet baby. It took all of me to get her to not take this child. Not in a weird way. She just wanted to adopt her and take her
Even
home.
though she was not up for
No,
adoption.
wasn't up. No. And doing incredibly
I
well.
think that
Living
she
her best life.
adopted me, actually. I think that's what happened
I
when
can't
we were
tell
there.
this story about how she literally couldn't get off you. It was so cute. Cute.
So yeah, so in the village of the traditional healer, the kids, when they see white people, they're scared because it is not something that is a frequent occurrence for them. So,
And this isn't like going into the cities or
yeah, no, like, these are people that, you know,
into the country. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know, the older kids, it's not like they're going off to school, like, they
Yeah.
all have responsibilities and whatnot, so So none of the kids wanted to fuck with us. None of them. It was the dogs, that little cat, and, like, the second wife, and then Lisa. Now, Lisa was 2 years old, okay? So she was this tiny little bambino. She was just this little just the cutest little fucking toddler on earth. Um,
Please add a picture of her to this too at some point. We're gonna
hold
make
on. Yeah,
if you
I will
her
definitely throw
little
a picture of
face, like
she's
I
so
just
cute.
wanted to squish her little cheekies. She was so
She was hold on, I got a picture of her.
you gotta show her for reference purposes. Look at her.
Oh, tell me she's not the cutest.
I can't. What is
I,
the cutest
in love with her.
little dress that she had on with her cute little shoesies? Oh my god, so
Oh
cute.
my gosh, I just wanted to smush her. So, out of all the people that were there, Bill gave her a little, keychain alligator, which she carried around with her everywhere.
He thought it was the coolest
But
thing.
once she got the toy from Bill, she was like, "I'm out of here. Bye."
Thanks, bud. Yeah.
And then she was glued to me the duration of the time. I don't know if it
I
was
literally turned around and she's sitting on your lap. I'm
yeah.
what is
And, like, I was like, "Where's mom?" Because I need permission for this interaction before somebody karate chops me, like,
especially because we were told going in to be very cognizant of the fact that
the
as
kids are
white
scared.
people we could scare them. So
Yeah.
just like, be respectful of that. This little girl, you want to show the power of one soul being pulled to another
Oh,
soul.
yeah.
She didn't care, Danielle, if you were fucking purple. She was drawn to
Oh,
you.
yeah.
She needed to spend time with you. And I'll tell you, the cutest thing is watching, it gives me chills, watching her little finger tracer tattoos.
Yeah. That
They're
was
also not used to tattoos. So
oh, yeah. So
that's
she
the
was like,
thing.
"Who
Yeah.
is this lady with this bright pink hair that
Yeah.
looks like fire and all of these pictures on her skin?" Like, she literally and that's what fucks me up is what tattoo she was
I know. I was
sporting.
waiting for you to say it, man. I didn't want to get you emotional, but I was waiting for you to say it.
So,
Because
she
you're
spent
covered in tattoos. So she picked that one.
yeah, she picked my sister, my huge memorial tattoo of my sister to sit and trace while I booped her nose and she booped my nose, and we just we hung out, we chilled, and then Janelle brought them a bag of candy
Yeah.
and different snacks from America, and mom said that was okay, so they were gonna pass those along. It was a really neat experience because it was just beautiful in the way that everybody's human.
It's beautiful too how we didn't even know these people 20 seconds before we walked in there. And to feel a connection and to be able to walk away from that, like, and not only all that you're speaking, but when they cooked for us,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we were allowed in the hut that they use for only their ceremonies. So either weddings,
Marriages,
right? Like where
funerals.
they I couldn't believe that we were allowed in there. That is a very spiritual place for them. There's a ton of respect, and we're
Mhm.
sitting there, and the whole time I'm looking around, going like they don't know us at all, and they're so willing
Welcoming.
and welcoming of us. And all I thought was, how many times like are we not feeling that in our own arenas, in our
Mhm.
own,
In our
you know,
own communities.
in our own communities? And I thought these people don't even know us. We're scary Americans, we're strangers, we're this and that, and felt more comfortable with them than I have in many other situations.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
it
yeah.
that
I
speaks
think that's
volumes.
one of the misconceptions about going to a continent like Africa or, some of these smaller countries that, people don't know much about
Yeah,
because, you know, we live in a culture where you had a president that were calling countries in Africa shithole countries, and they're
yeah.
not. They're beautiful and they're rich in culture.
And the
and
people are beautiful.
and
Like what?
humanity. And the
Yeah,
people are the kindest, most gentlest souls that I have ever met in my life. And to watch an election take place where our guides were very open with us about what they think, and they answered all our questions, and we had great discussions on the economy of Zimbabwe, the people, the future, their hopes for their kids. But one thing that I asked both of our guides on different days at different times separately, that they answered identically, and it was so telling to me, after asking them, what they see from the US news, what their opinions were, and so on. I asked them both what they thought of Donald Trump. And the first thing that both of them said, day apart, two
yeah.
separate guys, two different times, two different conversations, not in the presence of each other. The first thing that they both said was he never visited Africa. And to them, it is such a sign of disrespect.
Because that's what their culture is built from, is respect.
Yeah.
So they weren't looking for handouts. They weren't looking for Trump to solve any of their issues.
Nope.
They
Just
wanted someone
acknowledgement.
to
The
signal.
acknowledgement that
Yeah,
they picked up on
yeah,
was the shithole countries.
yeah.
And that was their opinion of him,
It makes me so angry because the countries that we visited are the exact opposite of what
Mhm.
I ever deem a shithole area. I think it's so disrespectful to all of them, the families that they're raising, how hard they all work,
Oh,
what
yeah.
incredibly respectful and kind society. And I'm sorry, like we met a shitload of people, and I will stand by that. That is their culture. Like I'm sure people are going to be like, well, I'm sure there's bad of this and bad of that.
Well,
Of
even
course,
there's bad everywhere, but, like, even when we were there, they told us a story about how there was somebody whose house got robbed,
yeah,
and within, like, 3 days, they caught the guy using WhatsApp.
yep,
Like, the community was, like, jumped into action, and they had the person identified and, like, in
you're
trouble,
done. Yeah,
like, in, like, 2 days.
yeah,
It's everybody has each other's back is what it is,
yeah.
and it's such a sense of community and trust and respect that our country could use some lessons.
And Danielle, I think that's a big thing of all these trips that we take. I had no idea about the culture of Costa Rica, right? I had no idea about the culture in Amsterdam. And now in Zimbabwe, Botswana, all the places that we've been to. Listen, I've been very blessed that I can travel, and I am will always be eternally grateful for those opportunities. But even for those that can't, just be more open-minded that these places are not what you just are fed through
Mhm.
TV or through social media. Get to know these places,
Yeah.
even like just build your own knowledge, because everywhere I've gone, they have their own issues, they have their own challenges. They also have such beauty and pride.
And at the end of the day, it's just good humans trying to do the best they can. Like
Yeah,
Anthony Bourdain used to say, "Don't be a tourist, be a traveler."
yeah.
Go in with an open mind, always accept every meal you're handed.
Oh
Fucking
God, that's a perfect way to say
eat
it.
with
Yeah.
the people, the locals, skip the fucking chain shit, and go sit at somebody's table and have a conversation with them about their culture, their meal, their life, what
Ask
they
questions,
love,
man.
who they
Just
are.
yeah, ask some fucking questions. When we were in the hut, the that they
When they made dinner for us at the camp.
yeah, and even at the Natural Healer, the hut that we ate in for lunch, I saw all those plates that were
Yeah.
up on the wall, and I asked, I was like, "Oh, what are those for?" And what made me giggle, it's like their version of our fine china.
Our fine china,
They
they
only use
only use for holidays.
yeah, it was they only use it for holidays. but it made me fucking giggle because I'm like, dude, they do the same shit. They literally have rando pieces of very fancy stuff, but then every other day they just eat on regular,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
regular.
it's just there for when they have something to do.
Yeah, so we're a lot more similar, regardless of what culture we're in
Yeah.
and areas we're in. At the end of the day, we're all just human beings. So the similarities are there very much. That little girl, she fell in love with you because she felt the kindness. And I think that that's what speaks to if you give good, you get good.
Yeah.
This little girl had 13 of us walking around her area. We're overwhelming. We're fucking loud as hell. We're, like asking a ton of questions. She gravitated right towards you and got to experience something that she will share forward when she becomes older and she tells stories to the other kids, and
Mhm.
who knows, her cousins. And that's the joy of it, is
I
that
hope
she will
I
tell
hope that
stories.
yeah, I hope that it stays with her the way that it'll definitely stay with me.
Very much, yeah. But
At
I
one
will,
point, Tina had to be like, "This is not Save the Children. She has a family. You
so
cannot take her."
I
And I
can
was
do it.
like, "Well, I mean,
No, I think what sold you is when I said, if you do decide to take her, you do understand that's the
the
natural.
ancestors are coming for you, bitch."
And we share a room, man, during this trip, so I'm gonna take a hard pass.
She's like, "I don't need the ancestors showing up."
I don't need no fucking knock on the door. It's bad enough when the knock on the door is weed, right? Not bad enough, but like good enough. I guess that's the wrong word. It's a different kind of knock. I don't need no fucking family of ancestors.
You're like,
Hey,
no,
motherfucker, where's the kid? We're gonna need
where's
the
the
kid.
kid?" Oh,
I can't
man.
do it. It was fucking amazing though. And
It was
on
beautiful.
a side note too, with that whole thing, I got to use an outhouse for the first time. And I know obviously what you're talking about is like real shit and like actually important, kind stuff. But the outhouse, I was so proud of myself because like most of the group was like, yeah, you let me know how you make out. That sounds
You're like,
lovely.
"Yeah, that's gonna be a no for me. Now I have to take
Yeah.
care
But
of
I
it."
gotta tell you though, man, like for what I expected an outhouse to be, very
You're
well
like,
done.
"That was an upgrade."
It was very, yeah. They had like the little thing in there, like if there's flies where you can just
It's Tina in the outhouse.
in the fucking. If I see those clothes again, I'm gonna throw in. You know that I washed all of our safari clothes, and I think I had like some sort of PTSD shit. I threw them to the back of my closet, and I was like, oh god,
You're like as far away as they can get
I
from.
can't fucking wear beige for like the next 10 years. There's
Oh
no
my
way. No
gosh.
army green, no beige.
Those T-shirts that I got though were hella comfortable, so I've, like, thrown one of the it's like a ivory color-ish. I've
Ooh.
added it to my
Well, listen, I can't bitch about the pants, man. Those are some like
those
fucking
pants were
giving pants
comfy.
too.
But
You
we
could,
got those at Target. Those weren't safari pants. Those were just Target pants
but they fit
in
some good
safari
shit.
color.
I was like, these are good for eating on Thanksgiving. This will work. Stretch
These
those.
these is some good eating pants. They got some stretch to them.
Some stretch, man.
Oh,
Oh, it's
man.
fucking amazing. That
Yeah,
was
so the natural
that's how
healer,
it started.
Lisa,
Yeah, and
that
that was
was
day one of our trip.
yeah, that was right out the gate. So,
Yeah.
just to give you the kind of, experience that we had, um, gosh, that was a lot. What did we do on day 2? Day 2 was
Well, we did Victoria Falls.
oh, that's when we went to the devil's pool. Oh, let's talk about this.
Well,
It was the devil's
Devil's
pool.
Pool was when we went to the other side, which I was
Mhm.
forgetting the name of that. That was
We
great.
went to Zambia. We crossed the border into
Yeah,
Zambia.
thank you. Oh goodness,
Um,
remember.
and yeah, so we went to the devil's pool, and there was only 5 of us out of the 13 that went out. I was one of those crazy motherfuckers. I don't know how or why or what, but I was like, "Well, if people that paid to travel with me are gonna do it, I guess I have to too."
You were a fucking brave girl doing that, man. That shit was. because I was bummed I forgot my bathing suit in
She
bed.
conveniently forgot her bathing suit.
And then, of course, everyone's like, just wear your bra and underwear. I'm like, bitch, I wear a G string. No one needs to see that. And nobody needs to see an old lady's floppy titties. Like, no, thank you. I don't think that's fair to the people of Africa. Like, let's move on. So,
Let's not victimize these folk.
we're good. But you freaking did, and we did have somebody that was not able to complete it. That's
Tried, yeah.
how, because it's not easy. Like, it was not
No.
like a faint, like this was no joke. You
Yeah,
guys literally were hanging off fucking Victoria Falls. Like, it's ridiculous.
it was wild. So to get out to the Devil's Pool, you have to walk across um the falls, essentially, part of the falls,
Is that where
holding
you was
holding
like the two
yeah,
string?
holding onto a rope with buoys on it. And then they stop you every little bit. And then, like, you have to go under a rope and then go, and continue out. First off, the second I got in that water, my entire body went into shock.
Uh,
It was 4 degrees. It was ice cold. It was like taking the polar plunge.
well,
I was
that's
like,
why Janelle, the poor thing, couldn't. She said that once that water hit
yep,
her chest, she couldn't breathe. And I
yeah.
was like, Jesus, that must have been
That's how I started
so
to feel at
cold.
first, and I was like, "Oh my god, why is it so cold?" Because I also have Raynaud's, so that also does not help with my regulating of temperatures, but
No.
once I was in it, I was like, "Well, fuck, I'm in
Like,
it." So,
hold up, you're frozen solid at that point. Whatever.
exactly, like, I went down under my shoulders, and I was like, "Okay, I'm all wet, let's do it." So,
And
so
I'm watching
finally
this from afar. And
yeah,
I'm
she's on, like, the rocks watching and taking
yeah, I'm
pictures.
fucking panicking because I'm watching her hold on to what can only be described as like a piece of dental floss. And that's what's holding her from going over the fucking edge of Victoria Falls. And all I thought was, how do I call her family? Like, how does that sound?
Ooh, yeah. Oh, but yeah.
Mm.
Let's not. Let's not.
And I
So
was happy place, happy place. She's having fun. Leave her alone.
so then we get to the pool itself, right? You get out of the water and you climb onto some more rocks, and then one of the guides sits at the edge of the pool, and then they proceed to tell you there's no bottom to the
That's
pool.
fucking
It
great.
is 40 meters deep.
That's
Excuse
great.
me?
No,
Excuse
thank
me?
No, thank you.
Why didn't you fucking tell me that
Well, because
before I
who
hiked the fuck over
the
here?
fuck would go there if you knew that going in? Nobody's going.
Nobody would go. I I was mad when which is fine. I can swim. It's not a
But why
big
do you
deal.
call it a devil's
But
pool? It should
then,
just be the devil's hole, is what it should be.
but then, then they were like, "Oh, and by the way, there are fish in there that are going to nibble at you." No bottom and fish. What size are we talking about here? How big are these fish?
We're talking like,
Like, is it the
yeah.
Loch Monster? Like, what's coming at me from below?
Okay, if that's the picture you would have got, that would have been fucking epic. Could you see? You're laying on the side, and you see the
Laying on the falls, and it's like a fish. It's like one of the worms from Beetlejuice.
I would have been deceased.
Can you imagine?
No, if it was
The
gonna happen.
water. Was it the falls? No, it was the fish. They ate her.
But wait, the bit to me the most mind-boggling fucking thing is that you told me they hold your feet as a way of you not falling over. Can we
Yeah,
just
so when you pose for the
not a
pictures,
thing? That's not OSHA certified, dude. There's no
OSHA.
how the fuck is that a thing? You're holding my
You saw
feet.
the scaffolding for their building, okay? I don't think OSHA exists, okay?
It's so true.
I got a picture of that too somewhere. Um,
That's fucking awesome.
so yeah, no, when you get in the pool, right, and you have to get in and then you swim across, but the current takes you right to the other side. You don't need to swim anywhere. It just carries you across. Um, and then you hold on to the rocks, and when it's your time to take your pictures and everything, they kind of prop you up there and then hold on to your ankles
No, no,
from
no.
the pool so that you don't go over the falls.
But what about if you have cankles like me? Like, how are you holding me? Like, I'd like to ask additional
I
questions.
don't know, maybe they have some rope. I'm unsure. But I'm sure that they're professionals, because when was the last time you heard about somebody going over the falls?
True statement. I'm not sure how quickly they'd be willing to publicize it.
I'm sure it'd get out real quick. Everybody's got a camera on them
Now
now.
that shit's on the WhatsApp app.
That's all.
That,
Tourist down.
that would be all over WhatsApp.
It really
But
would be.
that fucking picture though, and definitely share with your fans. That was fucking epic. That picture
That
of you
was cool.
playing the Devil's Pool. I still
Like
think it's
Supermaning over the falls.
dude. That was crazy. You guys were rock stars for that. We all
And
watched from
then
afar.
and then to get back, right? To get out once your photo opportunity's over, right? They throw you a rope. And then they pull you back over because the current is so fucking strong. There's no swimming back. There's no swimming back.
I wish they would have.
You'd be swimming in the same fucking spot for 6 hours. It would
Dude,
just keep going.
that would have been fucking awesome. Could just
I would have been there all day. I
I would
have
have
little tiny arms and
yeah.
legs.
I would
Can
have
I
loved
get an SOS?
that was that was crazy. And even for those of us that didn't do the Devil's Pool, they let us go right to the edge. And I am crazy afraid of heights, but you have continuously proved me wrong about my afraid of heights extravaganza that I always talk about.
I'm
Because
afraid of heights too.
but here we are on top of a fucking waterfall, and
One of the
this,
seven wonders of the world,
yeah, but let's stand on it and hope we don't fall.
right?
And the sweet gentleman was like, "You, if you walk to the edge, it'll be the coolest picture." I'm like, "So I'm gonna no." He's like, "I'll hold your hand." He walked me out. There was literally like this much between where I was and the fucking edge of it. He made me sit down. He goes, "They're slippery because of the mist from the water." And I got to sit at the edge. Like the freaking shit that you convince yourself you can't do. And then when you push yourself to do it, like I have a picture of me literally like at the edge of Victoria Falls. It's some cool shit.
And
Push
then we were like,
girls.
let's get in a helicopter and do it.
Well, that was, I don't know how much I smoked for that. Like that was just cray cray.
We did get super lit before we went. I thought I was gonna have a panic attack, but then I was like, "Oh, this is cool as shit."
Listen, I was right behind you. The worst part was when they weighed me. Like, really? You need to weigh me? We need to weigh you with your backpack. Honestly,
No, can we not?
dude, if my 10-pound backpack's going to be with this, what makes that helicopter fucking crash to the ground, I'm going to take a hard pass.
I think it was more so for their fuel,
That's
because
probably.
then they rolled out the gas can.
Oh, that is true. They were like,
They were
oh,
like, "We're gonna take this little helicopter because there's only two of you."
and they were like, and that one bitch is a big bitch, so we need some extra fuel. She's not petite like the other one.
They're like, "That one's a kid."
That one's like, is that her kid?
I
Why
don't
she's
know how many times people think I'm a child when I'm in public. When we were at the Eras tour this weekend, I got recognized in that merch line from hell, and
that was crazy.
um they were the most adorable older gay guys, and he was like, I told my husband, he was like, I saw Oz, and then he was like, where? And he was like, that little girl.
The little one in the corner. Guys, you
Right.
have no idea what it's like to travel with her because she is so little. Like everywhere we go, I panic because if I don't see her hair color in the midst of where I am, because you'll lose her. Gone. Gone.
Gone.
Lost in the shrubbery because she's that little. She's gone. So I'm always like,
People don't realize I'm not even 5 feet tall.
and because I'm 5'8", when you put the two of us together, it's just funny. Like our pictures in front of the helicopter. I'm leaned down, you're standing straight up, and I'm still like a fucking foot. It's like, what is happening?
Yeah, when people say, like, "I didn't realize how small you are," I'm trying to tell you all, I am like a child. When I went to Amsterdam and needed to buy sneakers, I went to the kids department. They're cheaper.
And here's the bad part of it. I can't fit into any of her shit. So the
Nope.
only thing I could fit into of hers was her hat in Amsterdam, her little beanie hat, and a scarf. Those are my two things.
I accessorize
I was,
well. I
yeah,
always bring extra accessories too,
I
so
was like, can't fit into your sweatshirts, but shit, I'll take the scarf. I'm like,
here, I
girl,
got an extra winter hat for you that we're gonna need.
in fucking in the middle of some sort of monsoon shit that was
Oh
going
my
on. I'm
god.
kidding. Dude, it was awesome. Awesome. And
Yeah,
we'll have to talk about this safari. I think that's going to be its own entity.
the
Because
safaris have to be their own
I know
episode
we keep
because
touching on it, but there was nothing like
yeah,
that.
no, there was too much that took place, especially with OT in Botswana, and I
Yeah.
know Austin's gonna kill us because 'cause we're supposed to make a bunch of small episodes. There was so much from that trip that there's gonna have to be way, way more episodes, and I'm also going to put together a Google form that the listeners can submit questions
Oh, I love
through,
that.
so we can get a little fan interaction going on for
I
upcoming
would
episodes.
love that.
We also have another episode that's coming up. We're gonna be doing with Austin's wife, Allie,
So
um, and she has her own podcast. She's a therapist, and actually, this entire discussion for us began in Africa on this trip. We're going to be doing an episode with her as a therapist on no being a complete sentence.
that's going to be very empowering. It happened in Africa, and a lot of people that were there with us, that became like our mantra.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
absolutely. But I'll be setting up a form so listeners can submit questions so we can get a little interaction going forward, or maybe suggest things you want to hear, want us to talk about, whatnot.
And you
Uh,
can tell some of our episodes are more goofy in nature. Some are very moving. And
Lighthearted and moving. Yeah,
yeah, this we knew was going to be a very
we can be
moving one.
heavy.
Yeah, it's there's no other way of doing it, and I really hope that you guys really take it in with learning about these other cultures and how we can just keep being
Good
kind to each
humans.
other, man. Yeah, just fucking be nice.
Like I wore the entirety of our trip in Africa, my Michael Franti hat. Stay human,
Yes,
folks. Stay
yes,
human.
yes. And and I'll leave it at this. I know Austin's going to kill us, but you and I are always deemed kind of different, right? For many reasons. And it's taken me at my old age a bit to accept it. And then you realize people like you and I that have been deemed different in certain avenues of the world are included more than I've ever been included in my life in these cultures where it's not about being the same. It's
Yeah,
about being your authentic self.
yeah,
So, whatever you're going through in life, just be you and you'll find your group. So,
exactly.
it's that's all I can say because it's
Some
been
days it seems kinda hopeless.
it
I
does.
know that,
Yeah.
and not every day is gonna be sunshine and
No.
rainbows, but just know at the end of the day that every human deserves to be loved, happy, and healthy,
Yeah.
and if the people that are around you don't give you that feeling, it's okay to put up boundaries and,
And
uh,
find your people. You'll
yeah,
find
find people who
people.
will treat you the way
Yeah.
you deserve to be treated.
You'll find your people.
Welcome to our community. You can come be part of our people.
Oh, God, yeah.
Everybody's welcome.
I always say that it's like we're the island of the misfit toys,
Yep.
right? And that's a positive thing, and that's a really awesome fucking thing. That it's just doesn't matter what you bring, who you are, and what you bring, or it's just be kind and
As long as you're a good person, we don't care.
yeah, man. It's so welcome to our community.
Welcome to the Chasing Oz family. Back in the day when I first started making TikToks, they would call themselves the Lollipop Guild.
Oh, oh,
right?
I love
Isn't
that.
it adorable? OG Chasing Oz followers are the Lollipop Guild. Yeah.
That's what it needs to be then. Oh my God, that's so fucking cute. I
Right?
love
Tell me that's
that.
not hysterical. Oh, also, available now at chasingoz.shop are Chasing Oz, Oz After Dark podcast t-shirts.
Get them, everybody. I got
Oh,
myself
there's
two.
a Tumblr cup too, I think. So if you are a fan of Oz After Dark, you can grab your merch now at
Love that.
chasingoz.shop.
Love that.
Um, thank you for spending some time with us, and thank you for listening. We appreciate every last one of you.
Love you
I hope that you
guys.
guys have a beautiful day, and we will see you next time. Thanks for
Bye.
listening to Oz After Dark.